My Umrah Journey Through Saudi Arabia by Alice Phillips, travel blogger. Day 1. Arrival in Jeddah. Transfer to Makkah. Touching down at King Khalid International Airport. A sense of anticipation stirred inside me. Even through the haze of jet lag, I could feel the gravity of where I was. The gateway to one of Islam's most sacred experiences. The airport was a blend of sleek modernity and tradition, and after breezing through immigration, a warm representative greeted me and led me to a comfortable, air-conditioned vehicle. As the road unfurled beneath us toward Makkah, I gazed out at the desert scenery. The silence was somehow calming, as though preparing me internally for the spiritual experience that awaited. The moment we entered the city, I felt a stillness descend, like I had entered a sacred hush. That night, I lay in bed in my hotel room, the hum of the city outside, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Summary of the day. The quiet awe of arriving in Makkah was like stepping through an invisible threshold into sacred ground. Day 2, Umrah in Makkah. Waking early, I dressed reverently. This was the day I would perform my Umrah. As I stepped into the courtyard of the Masjid, al-Haram, the sight of the Kaaba, that black, cube-shaped sanctuary, hit me with such force I had to pause. Pilgrims circled it in peaceful rhythm, the call to prayer echoing above. Every step I took in the Tawaf felt like peeling away layers of worldliness. I joined the collective energy, focused, spiritual, tender. The sa'i, walking between Safa and Marwa, was emotional. The humility of Hajar's story coursed through me as I moved. Back at the hotel for lunch, I barely spoke, not out of fatigue, but from awe. That day felt like a lifetime packed into a few hours. Summary of the day: seeing the Kaaba in person cracked something open inside me. A calm I didn't know I needed. Day 3, Mazarat. Journey through Islamic history. We began a day steeped in the footsteps of prophets. First, we ascended Jabal al-Nur, the mountain of light. As I stood there, picturing the Prophet Muhammad receiving his first revelation in Hira cave, my breath caught in my throat. Next was Jabal Thor, tied to the Prophet's migration. The story of the spider's web and pigeons at the cave entrance came alive here, and the landscape seemed to whisper echoes of resistance and resilience. At Jabal ar-Rahmah, the Mount of Mercy, where the Prophet delivered his final sermon, I found myself standing still, my hand over my heart. Driving through Mina, the tent city, and hearing about the 3 Jamarat where pilgrims symbolically pelt stones at the devil, deepened my admiration for this sacred ritual. Summary of the day. Standing on Jabal al-Nur, I felt like time folded, and I was standing beside revelation itself. Day 4, train to Medina. A high-speed train whisked us from Makkah to Medina. The ride was smooth, modern, but I was lost in reflection. Arriving in Medina, I was embraced by a gentler pace. Unlike the electric pulse of Makkah, Medina felt like a spiritual exhale. When I reached Masjid, an-Nabawi, I was stunned. The Prophet's mosque, with its endless white columns and polished marble, radiated peace. I stood before the green dome where the Prophet Muhammad is buried, overcome by reverence. The city has a softness that wraps around you. I remember walking back to the hotel under palm shadows, feeling more connected than I ever had in my life. Summary of the day. The quiet majesty of al-Masjid, an-Nabawi wrapped me in a blanket of serenity I never saw coming. Day 5, Mazarat tour in Medina. Today, we dove into Medina's heritage. I visited Quba Mosque, the first mosque ever built in Islam. Walking toward it felt like retracing the Prophet's earliest steps. At Tiblatain Mosque, I stood where the direction of prayer was changed from Jerusalem to Makkah, an actual shift in the axis of history. We also passed Uhud Mountain, where the Battle of Uhud was fought. Seeing the graves of the martyrs was heartrending, a reminder of faith, struggle, and sacrifice. The afternoon light over Medina has this peach gold hue that seems to glow from within. Every place we visited felt like a page from history, vivid, sacred. Summary of the day. At Uhud, the wind-whispered legacy, sacrifice etched into stone and sky. Day 6, flight to Riyadh. Time to leave the spiritual core and head toward Saudi Arabia's dynamic capital. After breakfast, I took a short flight to Riyadh. Our local representative greeted us, and the transition from Medina's soft spirit to Riyadh's energy was immediate. My hotel room was sleek and urban, a different rhythm altogether. I wandered nearby in the evening. The city felt polished, ambitious, yet still deeply rooted. Summary of the day. Riyadh felt like the kingdom's heartbeat, modern, bold, and pulsing with pride. Day 7, amazing Riyadh tour. Today was exhilarating. First stop, the National Museum. Its immersive halls took me through prehistoric Arabia, Islamic civilization, and Saudi unification. I was spellbound by the interactive displays and artifacts. It was storytelling through time. We visited Al-Masmak Fortress, a mud-brick stronghold where the modern Saudi state began. Standing inside its thick walls, I imagined the surprise raid led by Ibn Saud, history in motion. Later, at the King Abdulaziz Historical Center, I marveled at the blend of traditional architecture and modern curation. Evening fell, and the skyline of Riyadh glittered. The city is a paradox of ancient pride and forward motion. Summary of the day. In Masmak Fortress, I felt the fire of a revolution still echoing off its clay walls.